Hello all, welcome back. Let's explore further of the N8N. Here we have something called as a sticky notes, which is very important. So we could change different colors that we are having, but it's very useful to make some notes about the workflow. So not every workflow is explainable all the time, especially when the workflow becomes complicated. We need to write certain notes, or when there are different sections that we could segregate the workflow into. We could make use of this sticky note to convey proper information either to the one who is executing or for ourselves to understand what is happening at each section of the workflow. This is the canvas page where we would be designing the workflow, and this is the button which we could execute or stop the execution of the workflow. Here we are having called as the zoom to fit, wherein when the workflow becomes very big and it goes beyond this visible screen, by clicking on this it would concise put everything into the screen that we are seeing and fit into it. This is the zoom in and this is the zoom out to help us focusedly work on certain node. And this is a very important tool called tidy up, which will help us clean up the the nodes that we might have put in certain orders, and it's not looking good. Tidy up is going to automatically put in a very beautiful flow that is nice to view. Apart from view, there is nothing else that it does. And this pane is the log pane. This is the input pane, and then when we have the logs, when it comes to the input part, this also adds up another field called part called as the input. And now this we can see here is the save workflow. There is no automatic saving of the workflow, so I request each of you guys to click on save button very frequently so that we do not lose certain things when browser closes or anything happens when the laptop reboots. So as we saw earlier, execution, we had earlier executed this node. That is what we could see. So now if I execute it again, we could see one more execution. There are two executions here. One happened at 1524, another happened at 1557. And we click on it, we could see the certain details of it. Yet another important aspect that we would need to cover is these options here in the three dots. The edit description, it's going to help us give a clear description as to what automation we are doing. If you want to duplicate this workflow, we could click on duplicate. The entire workflow is duplicated and given a name underscore copy. We could download this as a JSON format so that we could reuse in any other N8Ns, or within our N8N we could use it later, or we could save it for our reference. We could rename the name of the automation using this. Import from URL is going to help us import other N8N in the form of JSON, which could be created by others or saved by us in our own machine. Likewise, import from file is actually the file in itself, the JSON file itself. Now we have one more thing called as the setting, wherein we have to do one more important thing with every workflow is to create a workflow called the error workflow, which will help us trigger certain information to our email when the workflow fails. This is a very important thing that we need to create for ourselves. Another important aspect in the setting is the time zone. We do not want to execute the workflows in a wrong time zone, especially it impacts if we are having certain on the schedule kind of a job running. So we would want to ideally run in the time zone that it is intended to. So if I'm in India, I would rather search India and then execute. The rest of the things could remain as it is. We do not have to bother much about that. Just click on save and it is done. Thank you. More in the next. Subscribe.